Hey,
Morning or evening to you.
how are you, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Uh, Today's a nice lazy day after yesterday's gym activities. I don't know if you see it on my Facebook. I was trying to go for a
Yeah,
500
so
pound deadlift and I didn't get full lift. I got it to my knees and just didn't have the power or the technique, and so I dropped it purposely. I didn't want to hurt myself, but the old attitude of me would have been mad about that, because I
hmm
failed. But the new
hmm
part of me is like, I was upset at the moment. I watched the video back a couple times. I seen where my technique had failed me. So now I know I needed to work on to get it next time.
Beautiful, mate.
You learn through
That's the
failing.
cycle, isn't it? Eh?
Exactly.
You learn to fail fast.
Yep. Fail forward, basically. You know what I mean? Not everything
Beautiful.
you're going to get first try. So sometimes it takes multiple tries.
Yeah. Well, talking of multiple tries, um, your second try at life really inspired me, and it
That's a
kind
good way
of
to put it. I like that.
it captured my heart. I related to it a lot as well in certain ways, and I think the physical transformation is profound. Um, so really, mate, I just wanted to just quickly say to everybody else, just share how you and I came into contact. We just kind of I reached out to you from a carnivore group after seeing you post a particular picture, which I'm going to show. Here we go. And that picture of you on the left with the grey hair, and on the right, looking like you do here. How does that work? How do you reverse aging? What's your kind of journey, your carnivore journey, brother? And just this is a really open and safe space, okay? And if after this, between you and I, we don't want to share this, it don't need to be shared. If we do, then it will. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
both we
I'm an
both
open
own
book,
this.
my friend. I'm definitely an open book. I've realized through my journey and other friends of mine's journeys that I've met along this path is vulnerability through yourself to help others makes life more meaningful, and it goes a lot further. I mean, I've been bullied and harassed, and I've had a lot of love also and support through this journey. And I use the haters for fuel. I pray for them, but even if me making myself vulnerable, telling my story and my journey only helps one person, that's enough for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've definitely reached more than one person though.
And that's why we do this, right? That's why we
Yeah.
like to talk and share, because I think one of the main things, and I don't, but I wouldn't believe that there would be a carnivore on the planet that wouldn't agree with this. It so goes against what we've all been in terms of a carnivore lifestyle, right? So goes against what we've all been conditioned to believe is healthy and unhealthy. Um, and I think that it's certainly, in my opinion, Anthony, I feel that certainly over the last couple of decades, the explosion of sugar and ultra processed foods, and it's inescapable, and it's making us all ill. And we can't avoid it one way or the other. Generally, it's a big generalization. It is, but I believe it is a general thing because there's so many nuances and things going on at the same time.
I'm
Um,
not sure if you've seen the podcast I did with Dave Mack. I've done 3 or 4 with him.
okay.
I believe his is no carb life or zero carb life.
Okay.
He's from Australia, no Japan. I don't remember where he's from exactly, but he's a really cool guy. And on one of my interviews with him, I told him I was like, humans are one of the smartest species out there. We can make all this stuff, buildings, vehicles. We can even make fake food, but then we're dumb enough to eat the fake food that we make, and that's what gets us sick.
Yeah.
I'm all for evolution. I'm all for like progress forward.
hmm
But just because our minds could create something doesn't mean our body could adapt to it that fast.
That's right, man. That's right.
And it's kind of like an analogy I use with people now as a vehicle. You have a gasoline car and a diesel truck. That gasoline car takes gasoline fuel. That diesel truck takes diesel fuel. You switch the fuel source, you put diesel in that gasoline tank, you're going to have problems.
Mm.
Vice versa, you put gasoline in that diesel tank, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Just because it fits doesn't make it good for it. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's
And
right.
I'm a firm believer, this is my opinion, but I'm a firm believer. My standard American lifestyle, the processed foods, you know, the way I was raised as a whole, not purposely, of course, but that's what got me sick in the first place was stage 4 gist.
So let's go back to that photo then. Let's start at the beginning. What so this is a carnivore focused personal transformation stories is kind of how I see this going. And you know, people that have really been through it over an extended period of time and then found carnivore and how it changed their life. So that's really, I feel that would bring it to life for people. And you know, the less I speak, the better. The way I see it.
Well,
you know the most about you.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. I'll give you a quick summary of what I'm dealing with now, and then I'll give you a quick summary of what life was like prior to the diagnosis, and then what got me to carnivore.
Perfect.
And then we could fill in the blanks and ask questions from there.
Yeah, sure.
So right now, my name is Anthony Hayduk. I'm a 34-year-old male, live in Western Washington. I am battling a rare cancer called stage 4 GIST, G-I-S-T. It stands for gastrointestinal stromal tumor. I got the diagnosis on my 31st birthday, which was September of 2022. And mind you, that was after surgery. I believe I sent you a picture of me in a hospital bed. I'm cut from my hip bone to my sternum. It's like a 12-inch scar.
Yeah, I just brought it up on the screen.
During that, I lost about a quarter to a third of my internals. You know, some of my stomach, some of my intestines. A softball-sized tumor was removed out of my stomach and intestines.
Wow!
And then they pulled a chunk of my liver, a smaller chunk where another tumor was. And they didn't know what it was. I stayed in the hospital for 7 to 9 days, had to have physical therapy to learn how to walk again, because when I tried to move my left leg, I could feel it in my guts because they cut through all the nerves and everything.
Yeah.
Which I believe I sent you a photo too. I dealt with nerve damage after the surgery because
I can bring that up.
All that crap. And at that point in time, during the 7 to 9 days in the hospital, I didn't know I had cancer inside of me. I was told they were benign tumors because of the endoscopies we did prior to that. And flash forward to my 31st birthday, which was September 22, I walk into the local cancer center to go over the biopsies after they surgically did the biopsies once they were removed out of my body. Came back stage 4 GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor. And I straight up asked the oncologist, I was like, what's your estimated timeline for me? And their estimated timeline was 6 months of life because I was misdiagnosed. I'm like, what do you mean I was misdiagnosed? And she shows me on the charts, flashing back to when I was 25 or 26 years old, when I had my gallbladder removed. That tumor that was the size of a softball was the size of a pea. It could have been cut out, it could have been removed, it could have been targeted, whatever. But in that 5-year period, it spread, it got bigger, the softball size went to my liver, hence stage 4. And for me, like, my heart instantly broke. I'm like, I lost my father in 2019 from stage 4 throat cancer. He was gone in like a 4-month duration, which, how would I phrase this? We'll get to it, but there's different types of cancer. They act differently. I'm lucky mine is the way it is, but I've been able to control it, thankfully. But I couldn't believe I had cancer in the first place inside of me because, I thought I was in shape. I thought I took care of myself. I was never fat. I've always been a thin, taller individual most of my life. My job since out of high school, I worked in the woods, or a professional tree climber, professional tree service. So I had the muscles. I was in shape. Busy bee. I didn't have time, to get sick, in my opinion. And then next thing you know, here's surgery, here's a stage 4 diagnosis. I'm like, oh, so much for 3 months off from work. I'm still off working. I'm 3 years later not working. And during the duration of a targeted chemo treatment, I call it a chemo treatment. The real thing is TKI. It's tyrosine casein inhibitor. It's a targeted pill. I took it daily for 130 days, but it is a form of chemo, in my opinion. It's not like in-house, but it's at-home chemo. It's at-home.
Understood. Yeah.
Well, that's what aged me, and the photo to the left side to the right. I went from looking decent, in my opinion, decent, to looking like I was my grandfather and my father in 130-day time. My left kidney started shutting down. I started urinating blood. I actually went 10 or 11 months urinating blood. I had 3 different ureteral stent surgeries from
I
kidney
think
to,
we have a picture of that as well. Yeah, look.
yeah, brutal. Men aren't designed for that, my friend. Men are not designed for that.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that makes you look away and you don't know why.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is when I tell the doctors, I was urinating blood, they didn't believe me. And I finally went in there, I was like, hey, here's the sample. Well, it's not enough to
Wow.
worry about.
Yeah. And was
And
it that one? Was it this one that you showed them?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
went in there one time because they didn't believe me. They had the nurse on shift because the doctor was busy that day. The nurse on shift had the audacity to tell me, you're bleeding because you're playing with yourself too hard.
Oh my goodness.
Kidding me? First of all,
That's
I'm
outrageous.
doing a chemo treatment, so I can't even get hard in the first place, being
It's
honest.
bonkers, man.
And I don't have a sex drive because chemo fried my manhood. Like, I deal with hypergonadism from the chemo. So here I'm being abused by the medical staff when I'm complaining for issues I'm dealing with. And it's on the charts that I have these issues, and they're still saying it's my fault that I'm doing something to myself. I'm like, what?
It's outrageous,
Um,
man.
so I ended up, getting different doctors. I've been through so many doctors because, if the vibe's not good, they're down the road. But for the longest time, I thought I was going to die from a heart problem or a seizure or like a mini heart attack versus the cancer. At one point, I was having a seizure multiple times a day, in my parents' house, at my sister's house, even in the hospital a couple times. And not anybody could explain to me why I was having these issues. And flash forward quite a few months, almost a year, when I went carnivore based September of 2023, all the heart problems, all the seizures stopped. So now I am 32 months without a seizure or a heart problem.
Let me ask you what brought Carnivore. What made you make that decision? Because it was life and death for you, literally. So what made you take that gamble? Because it's going against the grain.
So good question. To start off with the health journey, like I said, I followed the doctors, I followed the grain, wishing they knew what they were doing. I assume they knew what they were doing, that they could save me. And after the 130 days of a targeted treatment, I declined. You've seen the photos.
Yeah.
And the cancer actually spread and got worse, and the tumors multiplied. I went from having a few to, a lot. I have 12 tumors inside of me now, is what I was told.
Okay.
And so, being how my quality of life declined really bad, I looked worse, the cancer got worse. I told the local oncologist, what's the point of doing this treatment if it's making things worse? The cancer was going slower till you guys gave me this treatment. So if I could get off the treatment and try to either fight for my own or die trying versus dying miserably through you guys, I'd rather die naturally versus quicker, you know what I mean? And my local oncologist at that time, I think I was oncologist number 2 I had, because I went through, the first one was temporary. He's like, okay, if you want to quit, that's your choice. It's your body, whatever, He didn't argue with me, and he kind of agreed with me.
And so did you have a plan? Did you know what you was going to do instead at this point?
When I quit treatment, I told that oncologist, I was like, what I'm thinking in my head is I want to do different diets between scan intervals if I could survive that long, to see what different food groups does. Because I kind of have a mechanical background. I know about vehicles and fuel sources. So I'm like, I started learning about the human body. I'm like, oh, there's probably a proper fuel source. I just don't know what it is. So I hopped off treatment. The first diet was vegan, plant-based. Of course, I felt better right away. And I didn't think it was because I quit treatment. I thought it was because of the diet, because that's the fetish right now. Veganism. Well, I felt better, but I didn't feel human. My blood work actually didn't improve that much. And I actually had to, when I quit treatment, I got a gym membership a few weeks later. So actually yesterday, the 27th, was my 3-year gym anniversary. Well, long story short, vegan, plant-based, fed to tumors still. And what I realized in that, I didn't realize it right away, but I realized once I went carnivore, is plants are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates break down into sugar. Sugar feeds tumors. I'm like, okay. So also, I did Mediterranean diet. I did keto. While I was during my keto phase, which again, keto is 40 grams or under of carbs per day. Well, carbs still break down in the sugar, feed tumors.
Yeah.
Which I still had that mentality. You needed carbohydrates for glucose, everything else. It's like that's how I was brought up. That's
Programmed.
what I was raised.
Yeah.
I need that, So I didn't want to go full blown carnivore because still 90% of people around me, meat causes cancer. You know what I mean? Red meat causes cancer. It makes it worse.
Yeah. I still get it on my posts every day. I still get the comments every day on my posts. I'm sure you do as well.
I get a lot of unknowledgeable people out there, I'll say.
Yeah, talking about things they've never done.
Yeah, and that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. That's my ADHD going off on a tangent.
So during my keto phase, and I'm going to give this gentleman a shout out. Every time I do an interview, I give this fella a shout out, bless his heart. During my keto phase, somebody had sent me a reel or short on YouTube of a guy named Jeff DeProsperous. His channel name was Blessings on My Journey. He lived up in Canada, stage 4 colon cancer, I believe, and the doctors gave him 3 months of life. It was an educated guess, and he made it 30 months till he passed away. And there's reasons why he passed. I can't get into it. Bless his heart. Prayers to him and his family. But here's this gentleman, a few years older than me, with the wife and kids, way more responsibilities than me. And he's kicking cancer's ass. Like, he doesn't even look like a cancer's patient. He's doing chemo, he's doing fasting, he's doing carnivore, he's exercising, he's doing all this stuff, even with a tank attached to him at times, because he had a model. And I'm like, this dude doesn't even look sick. What the heck? And so that got the gears turning. I'm like, here he's doing treatment, here he's carnivore, here he's doing all this other stuff. Why can't I?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be scared of the meat. That's basically.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's make a game plan. September 1st, 2023, let's go carnivore. Let's do it 3 months really strict till the next screening, see what happens.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? During that 3 months, no tumors grew at all. Like, everything stalled out. I'm like, wow,
man,
this is amazing. This is the first diet I've been on since I quit treatment. And this is even the first thing I've had success with stopping the growth since the first tumor even happened when I was 26 years old or 25, whenever it was.
Wow, man.
So that is when I realized food has power.
Yeah.
Just because it fits in the mouth doesn't make it food.
Yeah.
Now I am, oh goodness, September of 2023 till now. So I'm 2.5 years carnivore, give or take.
Yeah.
Whatever the math is. And here I'm 34 with the stage 4 rare cancer, and I'm feeling the best I have my entire life.
Oh man, I'm so pleased for you, brother. It's such an inspirational story. It really is. And at what moment did you realize, because normally it takes, probably at least 3 to 6 months to see a real change in your lipids, or what was you looking for as a kind of a positive signal that I found the right diet, apart from how you felt?
So for me, initially, I don't have any medical background, so everything I talk about is, it's a conversation, not a consultation. But for me, initially, it was the feeling. Like, the first couple of weeks through the adaptation phase sucked, but I kept having faith. I'm like, hey, I was warned by everybody, the adaptation from carbs to fat is going to be kind of rough, depending on how messy it's going to be, on your health,
in all
that matters, So once I got adapted, I felt better instantly. Like, initially it was kind of sluggish. I lost some weight, I lost some size, and how'd I phrase this? I don't know much about blood work. Like, I know the basics, but I don't know the in-depth details. Oh, this marker does this type of thing.
Yeah.
I just listened to how I felt.
Yeah.
And then I started understanding how I felt. I started pushing myself a little bit more, like with cardio or strength training. And I'm like, oh, I'm not as sore afterwards. Oh, I actually have more power than I used to. And it's amazing on how your body will adapt when it has the right nutrients inside of it. And that's when I realized too, because I love everybody at the gym. I have local trainers. I don't pay for them, but I use their knowledge as I can.
Yeah.
And when I told the trainers I was going from carb based to fat adapted carnivore, they looked at me like I was completely stupid, respectfully, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, "You've been in the gym now for 9 months or 8 months. Why in the F are you going to throw away all your progress going carnivore
Yeah.
based? You're going to lose all your size and your muscle. You know, you need the glucose and the carbs for fuel."
Of course.
And I mean, respectfully, now that I've learned what I've learned, they've only been trained in one avenue. They haven't been, understood the whole spectrum because they haven't tried it themselves or studied it
Mm-hmm.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they're absolutely right, though. With one thing, I did lose some size. I was a little bit bigger when I was carb
Mm-hmm.
based,
Yeah.
but I'm stronger now.
Yeah, you'll have,
Size
because
doesn't
you're
mean
carrying
strength.
less water, you'll have more definition, you'll be stronger. I think once the water goes, after a couple of years, even with the same muscle mass, you're 30% stronger because you're not using energy to store and process all the water in the cells, with you.
Yeah, and it's dense muscle, not fluffy muscle.
There you
My
go.
my analogy is the sponge effect. You take a brand
Exactly
new
that.
sponge, you add water to it, which would be carbohydrates. It's
Yep.
going to inflate, but it's going to be softer. But you take that same sponge and let it dry out, it's going to be dense and hard, even though it's the same sponge.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
guys at the gym that are, 20, 30 pounds bigger than me, size
Mm-hmm.
wise,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm moving the same weight they are. And they're dumbfounded by it because I'm under 200 pounds.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and I think the biggest thing that is like just as a human race, when you get into carnivore, and your reality is fat doesn't make you fat; it makes you healthy, and it keeps you balanced and centered, and it's full of all of the right nutrients. Yeah,
And that's what I've realized with fat. Not only does fat make you skinny when you're at least fat adapted, fat is for everything: your brain health, your cholesterol,
yeah.
your heart,
It's,
your
your
hormones.
brain's made of fat.
You need that fat. Men and women, mainly women, because women are scared of fat. Nobody as a human should be scared of healthy fats. We need them.
Tell
If
me
you want
why.
for cholesterol, your heart. Once I went carnivore based, fat adapted, I've had no more heart problems, no more afibrillation, no more seizures. My cholesterol is actually better than it ever has been. I think the number's like 185,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually on the lower end still. It was higher when I was carb based. Hormones, even male and female hormones, are made out of healthy fats.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unless you're, and this is where I don't have a medical background, but from my understanding, the only people that need glucose as far as food is type 1 diabetics
Yeah.
or an insulin thing. But everybody else as a whole, their body will produce what they need as they need it.
Mm-hmm.
The difference, what I've learned, is it depends on from what we do to ourselves to abuse ourselves that makes us different. But from a biological genetic inside, us men to men, we're like 98% the same.
Mm-hmm.
Women to women, they're 98% the same. It's what we do with our food, our nutrition, our same thing, our thought process, our abuse with tanning beds, hypothetically, or chemicals is what changes that last 2% in us.
Yeah.
But male to female, yes, we're biologically different because males can't reproduce, and we're slightly designed different. But other than that, it's how we abuse ourselves from the time
Yeah.
we're born till whenever what makes us different
Yeah. Yeah. And
as
how
a whole,
how
anyway.
and for certainly for myself, Anthony, because I have ADHD, right? And one of the biggest impacts that I've had in my life from and I just passed my 2-year anniversary of carnivore.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And also on the same day was my 4-year sober anniversary from what past life
Yeah, that's fun.
of addiction and abuse and stuff, self-abuse, just what you was talking about. But what I've found for my mental state or health or balance or well-being, and the way I describe it to people is it's like my mind has gone from 50 odd years of going so I just go effortlessly, and it's not just about carnivore. It's more about removing things than the carnivore in terms of the mind. But just kind of for you, having been doing it for so long, and at the beginning of it, no doubt being probably in a pretty tough place mentally. Yeah. What was that kind? Because for me, it's like within 2 weeks, it's like I've got a different person's brain and body, and it's like, oh my God, what's happening? So
You're born again, basically.
so explain your kind of how that opened up for you, and how that momentum then goes. Why the hell would I ever go back? That's what kind of where I am, at least.
Well, my analogy on that is, why would I ever go back? And it's like, say I was married or had a girlfriend, would I cheat on my spouse? The answer is no. Why in the hell would I cheat on myself then?
Sure.
If I'm on a way of eating that makes me feel optimal, makes me feel superhuman, why would I put sluggish shit back in and cheat on myself and harm myself?
How lovely and simple. How lovely and simple.
I did that for many, many years, not knowing I was doing it, but I did it because that's what I was taught. That's what I was raised to do. Yeah. And I'm really glad, at least here in the United States, they just flipped the food pyramid upside down. And it's like, they should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they knew. They just didn't tell us.
That's why they can. I mean, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but that's how they're able to control a nation. Keep
that's right, man. That's right.
But to be honest, to be blunt, to be vulnerable is, I started smoking marijuana when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
At that time, it was for the high. Like, I was a teenager, I wanted to be high, whatever, experiment. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, this actually helps me feel better as far as a digestive and eating, because what I've realized now is when you're nervous, you have anxiety, all this other stuff, you're tense, your digestive tract gets messed with, and it's harder to digest food. And so once I learned that in my early 20s, that I could get my medical card and use it for actually health purposes versus, experimental highs, whatever you want to call it. I had the, what do you call it? The weed brain, the pothead. I couldn't remember stuff, you know what I mean? And my brain is really sharp right now. I mean, I have a little bit of a mumbles here and there, and my train of thought occasionally bounces around. But my brain's sharp. Like, I'm quick-witted. I feel good. I think clearly.
How does that compare to 5 years ago, for example?
Oh shit! 5 years ago, I mean, I thought I was smart 5 years ago.
You probably thought that you're in a dialogue 5 years ago.
Some people probably disagree with that, but yeah. I mean, 5 years ago, I was staring at American diet. I was still working. I ate a lot. Like, I would eat all day long. Like, I was so addicted to food. And this was actually up until when I went carnivore based. I was so addicted to food. I've actually missed out on surgeries and operations because I woke up in the middle of the night to eat.
Couldn't do nil by mouth.
Because I needed food in my system. You know what I mean? Wow, I did not have control. I was addicted to food.
Yeah.
And now, being how I'm controlling my body and controlling my brain, etc. A few months ago, I did a 10-day fast. That was my longest one so far. And it's like, so here's a
amazing. Well done.
I would eat, every 4 or 5 hours on the dot.
Yeah.
Now going, anywhere from 4 to 10 days without food.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, once your body returns to its more natural state of how it's designed to operate, and you feed it how it's designed to be fed, your body could do amazing things. And actually, the things that you do amazingly for it help it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't recommend, again, I don't have a medical background, but I don't recommend doing 5, 6, 7, 10, 21-day fast every month or every other month. From what I've learned, every 5 or 6 months is perfect for those long ones. But a person could get away with, 24 to 72 hours every month if they wanted to.
So just to share my own experience, I do, and this is just what seems to work for me. I do a 24-hour fast once a week, and I do a 72-hour fast once a month. I leave it there, and because I really don't think I eat a lot, and I also, when I am eating, I'm also intermittent fasting, so I eat within a 6 to 8 hour window. all
That's
the
what I do with
time.
that 6 or 8.
Yeah. So kind of permanent ketosis, permanent autophagy, and just permanent endless energy and enthusiasm for life. It's gorgeous.
I have a whole new outlook on life and on
Yeah.
myself now. I mean, physique wise, of course, there's a night and day difference. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, this isn't me.
I'm
Who's
just
this
going to bring
guy?
up a picture that you posted this morning. I saw this morning, so I'm going to bring that up. The one of you doing that
Yeah.
before and after. Yeah. There you
Which,
go.
you know, what's crazy about this is in high school, I had strength training as a couple classes, weight training. I didn't take it seriously. I screwed it off. And what I realized is how can I enjoy it, when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, when I was poisoning myself with the food that I was eating.
Yeah.
That's no wonder why I didn't get the results that I have now, because I was putting the wrong food in my system. And even some of the gym coaches now that I talk to, because they've asked me about my physique change in a couple of years, and I'm like, not all calories are created equal, and
That's
they
right.
argue with me. They argue with me because that's what they weren't taught. That they were taught, calories in, calories out, macros. And to get to that real quick is when I first started the gym. Yes, I was doing the macros, proteins, fats, carbohydrates. But once I went carnivore based, I stopped that. I mean, I occasionally count them just for shits and giggles to see where I'm at. But I'm actually eating a little bit less now from a calorie standpoint, being carnivore based, and when I was when I was carbohydrate based.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm putting on better size, better muscles, etc. And I'm actually recovering better.
Yeah.
And what I've realized too, maybe you could have an agreement or disagreement, is even if it's meat to meat, depending how, or egg to egg, etc., depending how that animal is raised, butchered, processed, what's all added to it,
sure,
depends on what you're going to absorb out of it.
100%. Of course, it is. This way, like you, you're made of what you eat. It's no different for the animal.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like I could go to my local butcher, get a cow, half cow, whatever, get some ground hamburger, make my own patty, eat it on a stove, or I could go to McDonald's and get one of their 100% beef patties, which, it's 100% beef, but it could be anywhere from 1 cow to 1,000 cows mixed together with who knows what are the chemicals.
Yeah, of course,
Well,
of course.
I actually have I don't have it anymore, but my dad, he had this doesn't really make a good carnivore point because there's fries included, but my dad had a set of fries and a burger patty sitting on the garage shelf for like 9 months, and neither one rotted.
That's grim. That is grim.
No wonder why, when people go to McDonald's, they feel sluggish. When I've tried it in the past, even just patties only, I feel like shit. But I could eat a better patty at home and feel good.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to just change the tact for you, right? How about this? Well, a big part of my work that I do day to day is helping people with busy minds quieten their minds. And that's why I specifically asked you about what's carnivore done for you, for your mind. And I thank you for sharing that. And I've had a similar experience. It's just, I think that you use the great word, is the best word for it. It's like effortless focus. All the confusion's gone, the fog's gone, right? But before that, we were eating crap and our mind was crazy and blah, 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 right? But before that, there's a reason why we were doing that to ourselves. So from the day you was born until the day you ate carnivore, there's a real root reason, like emotionally, for each of us, why we abuse ourselves unknowingly, even knowingly sometimes. And it's part of our unique story, and how we got here is from our childhood, from our youth. And I just wondered for you if you would be comfortable sharing your opinion, because with the focused mind that comes with carnivore, for a lot of people comes a lot of kind of self-inquiry. How did I get here? Because it's the first time without the mind screaming at you, it's the first time you've had an opportunity to go, let's just kind of think. but there's always a reason why we got here. You know.
So I'll definitely tell you a quick story about childhood growing up till now and why I think what I think and how I feel now.
Thank you.
And of course, I mean everything I say respectfully, because I'm going to bring my family into it as well. And
It's
I
your
love my
truth,
family,
as long as it's your truth.
But my parents split up when my mother was when my mother was pregnant with me. So I have a stepdad who's with my mother. They've been together since I've been born. You know what I mean? 31 years they've been together, and my biological father passed away in 2019. But so growing up, I had two households, two sets of parents, a dad and then a mom and a stepdad. And respectfully to all my parents and even grandparents, everybody that, nurtured me growing up.
Of course.
I was a hard to control child, even in school, I was never diagnosed with ADHD, but like I was bouncing off the walls continuously. Like I could not sit still for the life of me. I couldn't think for the life of me. It was like I just wanted to do everything wherever I wanted to go. Like I couldn't focus on just one task.
Mm.
Well, now what I've learned at this age through nutrition, sugar is 4 times more addictive than cocaine. Cocaine makes you bounce off the walls. So you're feeding a child, Cheerios, Fruit Loops, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, all this sugary based crap first thing in the morning when they wake up. And that sets their day off that way. So no wonder why I was in ISS in school or detention and all this other stuff, because I could not focus in class.
And just bringing it up to 1,000-foot view for the people that don't understand why that's what causes it about sugar, what causes that behavior in young children. Would you just give a very simplified explanation as to your understanding as to why sugar causes that in children?
I don't know the exact science behind it,
okay,
but I do know from what I've studied, because I've seen images of MRIs of people with, a whole bunch of sugar in the system versus like cocaine, and their brain lights up as the same response. Like it fires the whole brain off at once. Dopamine. And so what I've learned now with certain food industries, they actually target ingredients to put in the food that make you crave it, that make you feel good when you eat it. And the sad part about that is when you are putting a substance such as fake food or targeted food to make you feel good, when you don't have that food, then you're depressed, you're sad, you have anxiety. Well, then you go to the doctor, explain what's going on. Well, now you have an anxiety pill, you have a depression pill, you have all this other shit, and they make money off you because you're eating the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And growing up, like I said, I mean all this respectfully as possible, but I didn't have the best childhood. I had loving parents, I have the world's biggest loving parents, don't get me wrong, but my childhood was not the best. My father was a hoarder. When he passed away in 2019, we had a 3-story house that was filled from floor to ceiling in each floor. Like there was a pathway to walk through, and the pathway was this far off the ground. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
It took us 2 years after working on weekends to clean out the estate because that's how bad it was.
It's incredible.
And so that's what I grew up in, though. I mean, it wasn't significantly that bad, but it was definitely not fit for a child to live in.
Mm-hmm.
So not only was I dealing with piss poor nutrition growing up, in one side of the family, I dealt with, a non-clean environment, which isn't good for hygiene and etc. So we couldn't even cook on the kitchen stove. Like the couple times we cooked on the stove, it caught on fire because there was so much newspaper and mail stacked on other burners. It slipped and, caught the kitchen on fire. At my father's house, I moved out in 7th grade. Then my mom got custody of me, thankfully.
What age is that? Excuse my ignorance.
What 7th grade would have been, say, 13, 14 years old, give or take.
Okay.
So for those 13, 14 years, I had never, ever in my fucking life, pardon the language, sat at the kitchen table to have a meal. Like, that's how bad the house was. At a little school desk we sat and ate at, or on the couch with the TV tray.
Yeah.
And so on my mom and stepdad's side, complete opposite. Loving, nurturing, a lot of home-cooked meals. I mean, still carb-based, of course. We didn't know the difference back then. But it wasn't
a thing, was it?
It was a complete different atmosphere. So it's like my analogy, what I'm getting at is now in my adult life at 31 to 34, being fat adapted carnivore, kind of reminds me of being on my mom and stepdad's side growing up. Nice, clean environment, loving, supportive. I feel good. Then on my father's side, just a disarray of everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like when I was carb based. I was just unorganized, disarrayed. I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
And so what I've understood, and this maybe I could hear your opinion on this, is each of us deal with something that nobody can see, whether it's cancer, diabetes, mentalness, doesn't matter. We all have our own issues. But when you are putting the wrong nutrition into your body's going to be more stressed out. Your mind and everything else is going to be changed due to the fuel source.
Yeah.
And it's going to intensify whatever issue you're dealing with.
Yep, agreed. Couldn't agree more. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
and just going back to the question about, just to clarify, just for the audience, about feeding kids cereals full of crap ingredients and sugars and stuff. The reason it sends them a bit crazy at school is because of exactly as you said, same reason you said earlier about the insulin spikes, and the amount of red flags and servicing needing to go on in the body to re-regulate blood sugar after eating carbs and cereals and sugars, and especially like cereals with strange colorings and things. It's all just chemicals, and all that's going in the kids, and that's why their brains look like a bowl of spaghetti. You know what I mean? It's and I've been there, and I think for me, certainly, I hold this. My ego holds this personal guilt that, you know, I created busy minds in my kids because of my busy mind and projecting it on them, and there's that. So even for me, on the whole kind of healing journey on the mental side, it just once you're content with your own where you are, you know, you stop seeking to make everything better all the time. You just, this is epic for no reason. It's just epic.
Yeah.
You can it starts to ripple out. It starts to ripple out, and that's where the real power is. Because when people that have known you all of their lives, particularly when it's your kids, but you know, my wife, my family, known for decades and decades, when they see in 2 weeks going from no energy, you know, emotional wreck, not social. My social anxiety's gone. For me, that was the major thing. I don't know.
I can talk to anybody, Mel. If it can be the world's most gorgeous gal, I'll talk to her now. I'm not bashful anymore.
Yeah, man, it's brilliant because we're all equal. When we're not caught in that story, it's like no one's got something no one else hasn't got. You know.
Not one of us is better than the next. We're just trying to be better than our own self. That's it.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Look, sorry, go on. Sorry.
I will say, you know, I'm sure you get this on your page often. You know, it's like when you post things and talk about yourself, people think you're full of yourself and bragging on yourself. You're like, I get that all the time. And I've been accused of steroids and all this other shit, part of my language. And it's like, I am making myself vulnerable, not for myself to feel better, but to help somebody out there. If you can't see that, shame on you. And to put that into speculation, you know, I put on 25, 30 pounds of muscle in 3 years, and it's because I'm consistent. I go to the gym 5-6 days a week. I do cold plunging now for 2 years in a row, whether it's a tank or a shower. I'm, you know, intermittent fasting, which gives the body a break to heal. I do the prolonged fasting. I'm sure if you've done your research, somewhere between day 3 and 4 on a fast, your HGH, which is human growth hormones, will boost 300 to 500%. So as long as you have the right nutrients in place before you go into your fast and then break your fast properly, after a couple of days, you actually come back bigger and stronger because your HGH.
Amazing.
And so it's like, because I put in the work and I'm spreading my knowledge, don't shame on me because you don't have it in you to do it. I'm showing you the pathway. I'm encouraging you to do it. It's your own mindset that's twisting it to make you jealous of me.
That's right. And I don't know, I think a lot of we go through this life of trying to find out the best way to make ourselves feel the best way that we can. And it's just kind of a little bit unbelievable how simple it is. it's that's part of the problem. It's like we've overcomplicated life, you know, so much.
I'm glad you said that because I felt stupid saying that.
I felt liberated listening to you.
The secret to life is really simple. At least for me, and this is my opinion, but people that are depressed, people that, don't have the drive or the confidence, all you have to do is grab yourself by the cojones figuratively, pick up yourself, and do something for yourself, whether it's a gym membership, learning proper nutrition, walking with intentions. Do something physically for your body intentionally. Go, if you don't believe in God or church, find something else that you believe in that you could put passion into. But the more you work on yourself, the happier you're going to be. I'm single right now. I'd love to be in a relationship, but I'm not looking for a relationship to make me happy. I want to be happy first before I find that relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so many people do that backwards. Like, oh, I'm single, I'm depressed, I want to be with somebody, and they just get in a relationship. They're even worse, or they need that person to be happy. And it's like, happiness is built within, and then it shines through to others.
Stunning, man. I don't even want to say anything because I can't beat that. And Anthony Hayduk, Chemo to Carnivore, thank you so much, brother, for your openness and your trust in sharing your story. I'll chop and change this over the next day or two and send it to you to have a look at first.
Yeah.
And then you can.
I trust you, my friend.
No, man. All right, bro. So should I just cut it and spit it out?
Whatever you want to do, man. Whatever you want to do, I'm open to all of it.
I'll fire it straight out. It'll save me a lot of work. Congratulations, brother. Listen, thank you so much for your inspiration. Thank you for being my first guest in this little playlist.
Anytime you want me back, let me know.
Legend, man. Well, listen, when you've got new news, it's just, even if it's just for a short 10-minute clip thing, man.
Yeah.
Well, now your journey is here. Let's just stick together and just keep supporting each other, sharing the message, sharing the truth, and I think allow the world to heal naturally. And let's just do what we can. Let's be patient. Let's be calm. Let's do it the right way.
To go along that real quick before we end this, about patience-ness is, and this goes to everybody out there, whether you're fat, skinny, sick, trying to get muscle, it doesn't matter what your scenario is, patience and enjoying the journey is the true secret. I mean, you don't get fat overnight. You don't get skinny overnight. You don't get muscle overnight. You don't develop Crohn's overnight or develop cancer. It takes time to do this stuff. It also takes time to unwind and fix things. So give yourself grace, give yourself gratitude, and just give it your all and enjoy the journey.
You're a beautiful human being, Anthony. Thank you so much for sharing your life with us. And
my pleasure, friend.
I look forward to catching up with you next week. All right, mate?
Thanks, Vern.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye.